Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sean Ferfaro, and I would like to welcome you to the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics Convocation ceremony this evening. Before I tell you a little about the ceremony proceedings, I would like you to take a moment to identify your closest exit so you're prepared in the unlikely event we have to evacuate this building for any reason. All of our exits are marked by the green Running Man symbol above the doors, except for one. For our guests seated in the bleachers up top, there are exit doors along the running track on the east side of the building, just down in this corner. For those of you seated on the floor, there are 4 exits. For those of you on this side of the floor, there is 1 door at the back that can be exited through. For those of you on this side of the floor, there are exits both at the front and the back of the room. Should the need arise, the ushers will direct you to your nearest exit from the building. Now, back to Convocation. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this Convocation. In order to allow full attention on Convocation, we'd ask for you all to please silence any phones or electronic devices. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs are hosting a social media program developed especially for Convocation. Please share your photos, memories, and advice after the ceremony with our graduating students by joining us on social media and using the hashtag #GuelphGrad. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and the magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates here at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest that you see displayed on the front of this podium, as well as in your Convocation program, also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links with the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognoscere causis, is a quote from Virgil. It's variously translated to be either, happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall is also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority of the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, the beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is the ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the chancellor, the president, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of the faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degree being awarded within the college. We will begin with doctorates and magisteriates and be followed by the baccalaureate degrees. The name reader will present scholars to the chancellor and president by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be captured, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live webcast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The president will greet each student at center stage, and a photograph will be taken. Now, we understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion as Convocation, but we ask that you hold your applause, please, until after each group of graduands has crossed the stage. I promise there will be an opportunity for truly thunderous applause before the end of the ceremony. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers have been cheered, the chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all of the platform party has processed out of the hall, and then remain at your seat for a brief closing announcement about the reception that follows, as well as exit procedures from the building. I'll touch briefly on that now. Once the procession has left and the graduates and the platform party has left, I'd ask you all to please just stay here with me for about 2 more minutes. What we need to have is the hallways clear so that the graduates can actually get over to the reception. If we leave at the same time they do, the halls get clogged up and nobody gets where they need to go. So I promise you that 2 minutes of waiting here will be worth it. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate the graduates on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are all here to support them. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph. Please stand as you're able for the graduating class.
sacred love, in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
As we gather today to celebrate your accomplishments, graduates, let us start by reflecting on our place within the rich fabric of Canada and the diversity and continuity of all of humanity. We stand on ground that is the ancestral lands of the Attawandaron people and the Mississaugas of the Credit, and we offer respect and gratitude to those who have settled here before us, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the other indigenous peoples of posterity. Let us recognize the debt of friendship that we owe to those who came before us, and recognize also our responsibility to those who come after us. We are all migrants in this journey of life. This day marks a significant milestone in your journey, one that you will remember and I'm sure cherish for many years to come. This is the day of gratitude to family, friends, faculty, staff, neighbors, strangers, and all of those who have supported us on this journey. I invite you now to take a moment to reflect on those things for which you are grateful. As you embark on a new journey now as alumni, may the knowledge you have gained you apply with wisdom and compassion, that together we might all contribute to the nourishing and flourishing of the world. May wonder and curiosity move you to marvel at and investigate this incredible universe, to sustain and enhance life on our shared home, Earth. May the world resonate with peace. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. Please be seated.
Members of the board, honorary fellows, and faculty of the university, family and friends, and graduates, welcome to the celebration of Convocation here at the University of Guelph. Let me take this opportunity also to extend a particular welcome to Linda Hassenfratz. Great to have you here, today's Convocation speaker, and she will be introduced to you formally in a moment. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome and acknowledge Stu Lang, a great supporter of the university in so many ways, and most recently, benefactor of our new Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics, named for Stu's father. And we're absolutely delighted that you could be here today, Stu, to celebrate with the first graduating class of the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. My name is Franco Vaccarino, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Guelph. Graduates, today this is all about you. This is your big day. You've worked hard, you've persevered, and you've made it. Well done. Congratulations. And now, to kick things off to begin today's ceremony, I'm delighted to introduce our Chancellor, Martha Billis, who will bring welcoming remarks. Chancellor Billis.
Thank you, President Vaccarino. It is a great honor to be with you today, or should I say, this evening. Convocation is an exciting time for you, a time of eagerness, mixed emotions, of wondering what lies ahead. I remember those same feelings sitting there, just like you, 2,912 weeks ago, as I graduated from MacDonald Institute, one of our founding colleges at the University of Guelph. Not in my wildest dreams would have I thought back then at my alma mater today, delivering this address as your Chancellor. Today is certainly a time of positive reflection as you look back on all you have accomplished, a sense of pride, a sense of success, the memories you've made and the people you've met. You're also looking forward with high expectations and hopes, excited to see how your past has helped to get you to this moment, your graduation day, and where all of this will take you in your future. This is such a powerful feeling, but it can be overwhelming too. An important reminder I'd like to leave with you tonight is to take care of yourself, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Your future self depends on self-care. Remember this. If something does not feel right, pause to understand why. Pay attention to what drives you internally. The answers lie within you. Years from now, as you're standing here on this stage giving this address as Chancellor, you may be pleasantly surprised where your career path and life have taken you, as I have. Our alumni have a history of living the university's mission to improve life. I know you're ready to do so as well. Keep asking the burning questions. Keep thinking and seeing things differently. Keep pushing for change that our alumni are known for around the world. When I was really young, my grandmother was a strong role model. She provided a solid foundation to think differently, speak freely, and taught me to persevere. Then when I graduated and began my career, women did not have an equal voice in many workplaces, and even worse, in society. And there is still work to be done to address gender equality for both men and women. There were certain opportunities I was afforded and some I was not, simply because of my gender. Because of those circumstances, I saw things differently, and I asked of myself differently. Because I was told I could not do something, I thought of ways to overcome those obstacles. Some even called me perverse. I encourage you, when faced with inevitable challenges ahead, to persevere. Think of ways you can affect change, and sometimes even go so far as to be a little perverse. If you're told why you can't do something, hit reset. Switch your inner dialogue to focus on why you can. You'll be surprised that if you tell yourself why you can do something enough times, it may just happen. Perseverance alone won't make you successful, but can help you to do the things you may have once thought were impossible. And remember that other adjective, and be perverse. Lastly, please, always continue to give of yourself. Continue to give of your time and your talent. There is a reason why we're all here at the University of Guelph tonight, because we are change makers and we want to make a positive difference in the world. It's the Guelphiness in us that we can't quite put our finger on and describe that makes us unique. Your graduation tonight is evidence that you are capable of hard work, overcoming challenges, and accomplishing goals. Now that you have that freshly minted, now that you will soon, perhaps in a few minutes, I suppose, have your freshly minted parchment, I hope you decide to continue that hard work and make a positive impact in whatever direction you choose to go, whatever cause it is that motivates you, and whatever you set your mind to. Ask for better, push for better, be better. We are proud of you, and undoubtedly you will continue to make us proud. Remember, you are now University of Guelph alumni. You will always be home here. You will always be welcome. Congratulations, graduates. I wish you all the very best. Thank you. All yours.
Good evening. My name is Julia Christensen Hughes, and I have the absolute honor of being the founding dean of the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. Madam Chancellor, upon the recommendation of the Senate of the University of Guelph, I have the honor to present to you Linda Hassenfratz, candidate for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. A renowned international business leader and committed philanthropist, Linda Hassenfratz has helped to increase Canada's manufacturing competitiveness while improving life for Canadians. Since becoming CEO of Guelph-based Linamar Corporation, a company begun by her father, she has led its growth from an $800 million enterprise to a global operation with a value of $6.6 billion. She helped lead the North American Competitiveness Council, the Business Council of Canada, and the Canada-United States Council for Advancement of Women Entrepreneurs and Business Leaders. Ms. Hassenfratz has also provided leadership for fundraising efforts for the Guelph General Hospital and the University of Guelph. A proponent of co-op education for job readiness, she has mentored University of Guelph students, provided scholarships, and advocated to increase women's participation in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Her many honors include the Order of Canada, France's Legion d'Honneur, and the Knight's Cross of the Order of Merit from the Hungarian government. Named repeatedly among 100 leading women by Automotive News, she is also an inductee of the Canadian Business Hall of Fame. She was also the very first female EY Entrepreneur of the Year for Canada and the first female Outstanding CEO of the Year for Canada. Most recently, she was appointed Chancellor at Western University, with which the University of Guelph has a very special relationship. She is particularly passionate about supporting women in STEM and about the juncture of business and engineering. I now ask you, Madam Chancellor, to confer upon Linda Hassenfratz the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By the authority of the Senate of the University of Guelph, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you so much.
And here comes the citation.
Good evening. My name is May Ao, and I'm faculty from the Lang School of Business and Economics. I'm here to, okay, Madam Chancellor, I'm here to, I have the honor to present to you Lauren Chen, the recipient of the W.C. Weingart Medal. The William C. Weingart Medal is the University of Guelph's most prestigious undergrad student convocation award and is named in honor of Dr. William C. Weingart, a former University of Guelph president. This medal is awarded annually in recognition of both academic achievement and contributions to university and community life. Madam Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present this year's recipient of the W.C. Weingart Medal, Lauren Chen. Lauren Chen has harnessed leadership qualities, a passion for social advocacy, and community-mindedness to improve global healthcare at home and abroad. A top student in the Lang School's Real Estate and Housing program, Lauren has received numerous honors, including a 3M National Student Fellowship and the Futures Fund Scholarship awarded by Canada's Outstanding CEO of the Year program for academic achievement and commitment to sustainability. Pursuing her interest in using business to improve social welfare, she led case competition projects, including a proposal for affordable housing and environmental sustainability. Among her numerous volunteer commitments, she has worked with the World Health Organization, Universities Allied for Essential Medicines, and People's Health Movement to help ensure affordable essential medicines for people in developing countries. Her global health advocacy draws upon academic research, including several peer-reviewed publications. Lauren founded an outreach program at Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children to promote science among at-risk youth and launched Hands Across the Water to raise money for kayaking lessons for children with disabilities. She founded the Canadian Summit on Healthcare, served as an executive with the Social Medicine Network, and volunteered with the Medical Mission to rural China to establish village clinics and patient education programs. Her academic excellence, leadership qualities, and commitment to improving the lives of others make Lauren Chen highly deserving of the W.C. Weingart Medal.
I am pleased to now invite Dr. Linda Hasenfratz to give the convocation address.
Thanks so much. Good evening, everybody. It's a real pleasure and honor for me to be here this evening to receive this honorary degree. It's something that means a lot to me. I grew up right here in Guelph, and I have a lot of connections to this university, both personally and through our business. We have close connections with the business school, with the engineering school, and with the agricultural college. So lots of connections with Guelph. We think it's a wonderful university, and congratulations to all of you on successfully completing your degrees. So I wanted to start off with just a few words about Linamar, the company that was founded by my father 53 years ago, which I have the privilege of being part of a team leading today. Linamar is a diversified, advanced manufacturing company. So what does that mean? It means we're taking the latest in technology that's been enabled by the enormous power of computing that is allowing us to do incredible things through artificial intelligence, machine learning, and intersecting it with the deep manufacturing expertise that we have in Linamar to come up with some really innovative solutions for our customers. We're about 75% of our business is focused on passenger cars and other types of vehicles, 25% on access equipment we manufacture under the brand name Skyjack, and harvesting equipment that we manufacture under the brand name MacDon. Sales last year at Linamar were $7.6 billion globally, and 2019 is shaping up to be another record year for us. 2018 was actually our 9th consecutive year of double-digit earnings growth at Linamar, something that we're very proud of. We have 27,500 employees globally. We're manufacturing in 11 countries and 60 manufacturing facilities, 40% of which are right here in Canada. And we were founded right here in Guelph in 1966 by my father. He named the company, by the way, this is a little bit of trivia for those of you who don't know, after myself, my sister Nancy, and my mother Margaret. When my sister's not around, sometimes I claim the N. My father came to Canada in the late 50s with nothing in his pocket, but a lot in his head. A very important asset, a skill. He's a skilled machinist, and he used that to lever starting a business and drive it relentlessly for continued growth. He is an incredible entrepreneur who has been hugely inspirational to me in shaping my own leadership style. We've tried to build a company at Linamar with a solid culture, and I think culture is just so important to the success of any business. Our business is very entrepreneurial, not surprisingly given our entrepreneurial founder. We're very respectful of our people, we're responsive, we move quickly in response to our customers, in response to our employees. We're respectful of our people, we move fast, we're balanced in how we approach our business, we work hard, we're innovative. This is all so core to who we are as a company. And I feel like that this culture is just such a key element in the success of Linamar, along with our ability to be competitive, which is really all about our ability to innovate, right, in terms of new products, innovative processes to make those products, and our ability to run efficiently. And lastly, opportunity. So you have culture, you have competitiveness, and you have to have opportunity. And I think we've had wonderful opportunity through the strategy that we've laid out as a company of what we want to make, where we want to make it, how we're going to compete in those markets. And I feel like those three things are the really critical elements to any successful business. And you've all been studying business for the last 4 years, so I'm sure you've heard a lot of these things already. And of course, all of that only happens when you have great leaders in your company who are making all of that happen. You know, I learned a lot along the way on my journey about leadership. I think that leadership is partly genetic and partly learned. You know, so I think that you do have to have a little nugget of something in you that makes you a leader, that makes you have a vision and be able to have people follow you to make that vision a reality. So you have to have that natural instinct. But I do think there's a real need also to hone those skills, to develop individual leadership styles and learn about what can make businesses successful. I certainly learned a lot about leadership from great leaders that I was lucky enough to be surrounded by. My father, as I've already told you, taught me to move quickly, to really understand our costs, to care about cash, to think about growth every single day, to inspire people, to build relationships, to measure everything, and fight bureaucracy every day. Jim Jarrell, our President and Chief Operating Officer, is an amazing leader. We're so lucky to have him in our business. He inspires me every day as well with his skills around, again, growth, around negotiation, around deal making, creativity, motivation, communication, balance, and sell. He's amazing. And I've also been inspired by my head. He's also an entrepreneur, has his own business, and I find he keeps me grounded and helps me to think practically about what I should be doing in our business. He's all about innovation and technology and taking a chance. So I've been lucky to be surrounded by great leaders. So you should look for those people in your life, whether it's in your business, in your family, or other associates who can teach you and help you to grow as a leader. You know, we've spent a lot of time thinking about what makes a great leader at Linamar and trying to develop the kind of leadership profile that we're looking for in Linamar. People who are passionate, you know, who can get other people excited about what their vision is. People who are good planners, but also execute on those plans. People who are good decision makers, who have edge and acumen to be able to handle tough situations and make good, insightful decisions. We want leaders who are good communicators and who care about their people, because if you show that you care about your people, they will follow you wherever you take them. Now, everybody might not be a star in every one of those areas. That actually rarely happens, but you do have a strength in one, and then you build a team around you to really complement and complete that entire picture. I think another key element to successful leadership that I learned through my time is around effective decision making. I think this is so important. To be a good leader, to be successful in business, you need to be a good decision maker. And there's really 4 key elements here. I think one is understanding how much time to spend on a decision. To me, the time that you spend on a decision should be directly proportionate to the impact of that decision. That sounds simple, I know, but some companies can spend months deciding on something that has a very small impact. And conversely, you might spend very little time thinking about something that can have a much longer impact. So, you know, it's important to get that balance right. I think that companies can die a slow death, you know, buried under a sea of bureaucracy from slow decision making, but you can also die a quick and fiery death by bad, quick decision making. So that balance is really important. Secondly, I think good leaders understand how to weigh those decisions to balance out the needs of their stakeholders, so their customers, their employees, their shareholders, trying to make decisions that are going to be successful for all of them. And for us in our company, you know, we have 60 plants around the world. They're separated into different groups. Decisions that one plant makes doesn't just affect that plant, it affects their group, it affects our overall company. So you need to think about those things as well. I think thirdly, good leaders challenge others, right? When you're asked to approve something, you're not a rubber stamp. You're there in the job because you have more knowledge, more experience. You can help coach that person or help make that decision. You should challenge, ask why until you understand really how they came to the conclusion that they did. Challenge, push, get the best out of people, ask for alternative solutions, and coach people. You know, I think the best indicator of great leadership is really the success of those who come behind you, how good of a job you've done at teaching others. And above all, I think the good leaders really own their decisions, right? You're the leader, the buck stops with you, so no one else. You have to be accountable, you have to be willing to stand up and own those decisions and the consequences of that. I think that good leaders fight for what they think is right and openly admit when they're wrong. So, you know, that actually brings up a key point around the importance of data-based decision-making that I want to expand on a little bit more that I think is so important. I feel like we live in a time where we have more information available to us than we ever have in history, and yet I feel like we're less informed than we've ever been. We have all this information coming, and our tendency is we read something, we hear something, we see a tweet, we believe what it says, and we aren't doing a good enough job of challenging that information, challenging those facts, and really understanding what's right and making our own decision about a topic and what is right and what is wrong, understanding the underlying calculations that make up a statistic, for instance. As an example, manufacturing, from a statistical definition that our governments use, is an industry in which at least 50% of the employees are physically touching the product being made. What that means is we're close to no longer being classified as a manufacturing company because we're close to having less than 50% of our employees actually touch parts because of the advent of automation. That's crazy. We're still a manufacturing company. We're still making things. It's a bad definition. It's an old definition. It should have changed. But it makes you realize that you need to challenge some of these statistics. You need to look at a trend line and not conclude that everybody is performing along that same trend. You might see a graph that looks like this, but it might be made up of a bunch of people doing this and a bunch of people doing that. And wouldn't you like to understand that a little bit more instead of concluding that everybody is performing the same way? It's the danger of averages. You have your head in the freezer and your feet in the oven. On average, okay. In reality, not so good. So, don't generalize, don't draw conclusions on face value without understanding those underlying facts. Looking at the big picture is another good example of better fact-based decision-making. I think battery electric vehicles are a great example of this. Everybody thinks that they're great for the environment, but that's only true if the source of electricity is clean, right? That the source of the electricity, if it's coming from coal-fired electricity plants or oil-based plants, is not clean. You're just shifting the emissions to the electricity plant. In the US, China, India, many parts of Europe, the primary source of energy is burning coal or gas, which of course creates significant emissions. So from a well-to-wheel emissions perspective, in those countries, the emissions of a battery electric vehicle are actually about the same as a diesel engine driven vehicle. It's another example of understanding the facts, right? And letting good facts drive your decision making and look at end-to-end solutions. That's I think a key piece of advice I have for you as you head off into the world. So I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing from me already and are anxious to get on with the ceremony and get your degree and the well-earned celebrations after that. But if you can indulge me for just a few minutes, I have just a couple of pieces of advice for you. One is something you've already heard from your chancellor, and that is to never stop learning. Just because you're finished school doesn't mean there isn't still a lot to learn. I feel like I learn something new almost every day, or at least I try to. Be inquisitive. If you don't understand something, ask. Don't be afraid to ask for help. People like to help. They like to give advice, and you're going to look a lot more foolish if you make a bad decision without understanding the question than you would to ask that question in the first place. Secondly, embrace change. There's so much change going on in the world today. You need to be comfortable with it. You need to be okay with it. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to improve. Complacency leads to obsolescence. The world is moving so fast. Technology is moving so fast. The way we do business is moving quickly, and we need to be ready to be changing right alongside with it. You can be on the right road, but you'll get run over if you just sit there. You need to remember that. I encourage you all to be promoters of change and improvement in your businesses. Doing so will make the businesses you work for a success, and that will make you a success as well. Third, don't be afraid of a challenge. I've been presented with many challenges in my career. I've moved through many different disciplines, each time starting at square one with no knowledge of that area, each time starting with a brand new group of people that I had to convince I was willing to learn and to work hard and be part of a team. But with each success, I feel like you get a little bit stronger. You get a little bit more confident. With each team whose respect you've won, you've developed a bigger network of people that you can draw on in the future. Taking on a challenging job pushes your limits a little bit, and it lets you outperform even your own expectations. There's plenty of data out there that shows that if you set the goal higher, that you'll get better results, and that goes for your career as well. Don't be afraid to take on something just because you don't know exactly how to do that job. You will stretch, you will grow, and you will figure it out. Don't be afraid to take on a lateral move. In fact, I encourage taking on lateral moves because getting a picture of a business from a lot of different perspectives is invaluable. And finally, I would encourage you to approach the issues that you face in your jobs with innovation, with ingenuity, and quite importantly, with common sense. Try to approach a decision or a solution by thinking, what would I do if this were my company and my money that I was spending? Would you spend $1 million on a solution, or would you figure out how to do it for 1,000? Ingenuity is a little Ingenuity and innovation is what set us apart. It's what makes us efficient. It's what makes us competitive and helps us win our business. Common sense is a bit of a lost skill. It's not very common, unfortunately, anymore. I suggest you think practically when you're developing solutions. I like to say you can do anything with enough time and money. What can you do with neither? Learn, embrace both challenge and change, be innovative, and act like an owner. I hope you can use this advice as you all embark on your careers, and if that sounds like you, we would love to hear from you at recruiter@linamar.com. Congratulations to all of you on your success, and all the best in the future.
Good evening. My name is Kate Dewey, and I'm the Associate Vice President Academic. I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Hasenfratz for that amazing speech. I just want to go and get the video and listen to it again. I learned so much, and it was so inspiring, and it was just incredible. What did I take from it, if I were to say 3 or 4 things? A huge company, huge as in numbers of people, and what do we hear but culture? So in other words, we can care about people even if it's big. Make sure you do. Make sure you care about the people you work with. Second of all, opportunity. Look for opportunity. Third, innovation. And there were some ideas about innovation. And lastly, leadership. And don't forget that you're a leader today. Someday you may be this kind of leader, which would be amazing, but you are a leader when you go into your workplace tomorrow, and make sure that you are the kind of leader you want to follow. So thank you. Graduates, now it's the moment you've been waiting for. Will the graduating class please stand? Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will the members of the graduating class please be seated?
Well, I know this is a very special convocation for each of you, a defining moment in your lives. It's also a very special convocation for me. This is the final convocation that I will be included as Dean of the the founding Dean of the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. So I have the opportunity to share a few remarks with you, and I was really taken with both the chancellors and Linda Hasenfratz, Dr. Hasenfratz remarks, because this has been a leadership journey for me, and I think I have taken a lot of that advice to heart, and challenging processes, building a culture, building a team. And together, we have achieved a lot. And when I say we, I mean the faculty and staff on the stage, the school, as well as each of you. You are a remarkable group of students who have given of yourselves, as well as learned and now heading on your own journey. So tonight is bittersweet. I end 10 years as dean in this role. Some of the accomplishments I thought I would share with you. We established a bold vision and an action plan to be and develop leaders for a sustainable world, a different kind of business school, a business school that is truly committed to improving life. We launched curricular innovations and laid the foundation for many more, offering students within the school and also across campus with unprecedented choice in developing business acumen, entrepreneurial spirit, and leadership skills. We launched a career center with your support. You voted in support, which has played a pivotal role in us becoming a business school of choice for many noteworthy employers, including Linamar, and we are very grateful for our graduates who you've hired and the co-op placements that you've provided our students with. We renovated and moved into MacDonald Hall, which, as a former residence and formerly home to our chancellor, truly provided us with a place to call home, and what a difference it made. We also grew our Center for Business and Student Enterprise to include the Hub Incubator program, with 3 student teams competing on Dragon's Den this year. In November, the center was renamed after notable business leader John F. Wood, and I want to recognize Susan Frazen and her husband Alex. Susan is the daughter of John F. Wood. And again, thank you so sincerely for your family's generosity. With this remarkable gift, we are expanding our field courses and consulting projects, helping elevate business and organizations in our community here in Guelph and around the world. And we are supporting students who have a passion to launch their own business, to incubate those businesses, supporting the economic viability of our community. Perhaps we can have a round of applause for the Wood family. This past fall, our MBA in Sustainable Commerce was ranked by Corporate Knights amongst the top 10 in the world. That was a really defining moment for us. We also launched 2 new research institutes recently in sport leadership and marketing analytics. These 2 institutes will elevate our research and its impact on the world. And many of you made us so proud as you competed against the best in the province, the country, and the world, and reached the podium time and time again. All of these successes contribute in part to our biggest accomplishment of all. As many of you are aware, this past semester, we received a remarkable gift of $21 million, the largest in the university's history, to rename our college the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. We produced a number of videos in celebration of this remarkable achievement and have one we would like to share with you now.
It's almost surreal to me knowing that I'll be leaving my undergraduate degree and receiving my degree and saying, congratulations, here is your Bachelor of Commerce degree from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics.
When I think of Dad, it's business, so I thought it would be an honor to name the business school after him.
This isn't just about a name. This is about the right name. This is about a business leader with who our values align. The area in front of MacDonald Hall is truly going to become a remarkable landmark. We'll have the opportunity to search the world for 4 amazing faculties. So we have named chairs in finance, in marketing, in leadership and sport and event management.
And truly elevates the entire university. It really poises us for impact, both in Ontario and beyond.
It is now my absolute honor to introduce you to Stu Lang, who along with his wife Kim made this gift possible. Stu.
One of the things my dad taught me was to always find out people that were smarter than you, and it's been a privilege to meet Linda. And there's one thing that we share in common, which was a very important part of our life, and that was our successful fathers and business people who taught us a lot. So welcome. Good evening, pioneers. Congratulations on this momentous occasion. As the very first graduates of the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics, you will forever hold a special place in the history of our new business school. My father would be immensely proud today. He enjoyed watching his 2 sons and 2 daughters grow up and take on new and difficult challenges. His love made us feel invincible even when we stumbled. Family was very important to him. He could not have foreseen a new and ever-growing family of sons and daughters carrying his name out into the world. I was trying to think what my father would say to you if he were standing here today. My father was a simple and humble man of few words. He was not a public speaker, so what would he do? Knowing Dad, he would look into your eyes, shake your hand, and say softly, "I believe in you, now get out of the house." Go Griffins.
Thank you, Stu. We are so proud that your father's name will stand with business and economics at Guelph for all time. So graduands, I've learned some powerful lessons as dean. Perhaps some will resonate with you. Dream big, believe in yourself and others. Be innovative. Never stop asking, how can we do this better? Put your hand up, show up, volunteer. Commit to making a difference. Bootstrap, find a way. Make the world a better place. We are now moving to the conferring of degrees. Family and friends, we share your enthusiasm for this moment, and perhaps in some cases your relief as well. That was a joke, okay. And we do encourage you to express your joy in some audible way as your graduating student crosses the stage. We encourage you to do this. We do, however, ask that you share your collective applause until each group of students has been called. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars, the first graduating class from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
Graduating from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics with the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Nabia Advani with distinction. Keegan Alexander Alvestad. Jake Ryan Appleby. Musa Arafe. Angela Jane Ariola. Matthew Spiel Barth. Nathaniel Aaron Beals. Andrea Julia Benici. Laureen Bachet. Colin Thomas Best. Michael Alexander Bethune. Afreen Kaur Bendal. Alessandro Bitondo. Gregory James Joseph Bobisic. Yelena Bobanak. Diamond Jaylee Braithwaite. Thomas Broadhacker. Gareth Joseph Brown. Sabrina Maria Cazzola, with distinction. Connor Jeffrey Chalk. Brody Jace Chamberlain. Justin George Shamoon. Yin Shun Chan. Vivian Wan Cheng. Lisa Chowdhury. Marvin Siu Wan Chu. Brianne Clarkson, with distinction. Lauren Yuk Sum Chan, with distinction. Spencer Douglas Coetzee. Rachel Margaret Coles, with distinction. Mason Gary Copeland. Nathan Coriali. Dean Elliott Correa. Jessica Elizabeth Craig. Talha Imran Dar. Jessica Taylor DiCarlo. Kelly DeRosier. Ryan Devlin. Isaac James Dewar. Kaloyan Dimov, with distinction. Lauren Elizabeth Duchesne. Jonas Dunphy. Michelle Duong. Rohan Kumar Dutt. Parnaz Ehsan with distinction. Ayub Farid. Ariane Shalizi Fayez. Michael Fior. Taylor Flores with distinction. Julia Rose Follow. Sydney Marie Foreman. Riley J. Douglas Foster with distinction. Zachary Craig Freiberger. Nick Froese with distinction. Justin Trevor Galiotto with distinction. Jamie Gabriel Garreau. Cindy Garland with distinction. Matthew Nicholas Gauthier with distinction. Alex Genick. Mitchell Christopher Guillermo. Bradley Michael Gibat. Catherine Sarah Goodrow. Wade Scott Gold. Ashley Elizabeth Goulding. Emma Jane Greaves with distinction. Kessia Gregory. Stephanie Rebecca Gould with distinction. Reese Christopher Hamill. Zhu Han. Emma Elizabeth Hartwell. Karina Caitlin Henry. James Samuel Hicks. Stephanie Holt. Andrew Hood. Reese William Huard. John Robert Snyder Hutima. Connor Ive. Michelle Jobbett. Celia Patricia Courageous. Mackenzie Roman Kia. Mackenzie Madeleine Ketty Brzeski. Abram Joseph Kennedy with distinction. Regan Kennedy. Emma Lois Coral. Lauren Elizabeth Law. Chan Hong Lee. Marissa Jade Lee with distinction. Braden Richard Arthur Leonard. Janessa Marie Loans. Taylor Nicole Marley. Mark Malati. Neelima Maraj. Elizabeth Maria Marciano. China Elizabeth Markov. Samantha Lynn Marshall. Connor Thomas McBean. Ryan McLean. Taylor Ann McLaren. Shannon Brianna McPherson with distinction. Stephanie Rose Mignacca with distinction. Rebecca Emily Moore. Jordan Eliza Tidman Mosey. Jack Moylan with distinction. Madison Francis Mulder. William Adam Mullet. Mitchell Keenan Myers with distinction. Vanita Nahada with distinction. AJ Singh Nanar. Eddie Niesenbaum. Timothy Jordan Peterson. Nicholas Pett. Tim Piper. Emma Jane Pybus with distinction. Catherine Ann Quinn with distinction. Mark John Raboud. Jasmine Rye. Monica Taylor Raposo with distinction. Sarah Yates Reeve. Rachel Victoria Renfrew. Tomas Kurt Rinna. Carson Andrew Rowell. Samantha Ross with distinction. Tyson Devin Rolston. Brianna Victoria Roson. Mikhail Christian Ruffini. Avery Francis Sabo. Mustafa Saeed with distinction. Robert Salvati. Joshua Matthew Serafini. Faisal Ahmad Shakib. Wei Wei Shi with distinction. Elliot Shropshire. Scott Simmons. Cameron Nielsen Sincel. Nicholas Anthony Cerrone. Evan David Slupka. Blake Garrett Smith. Evelyn Soplet. Thanusanth Srilavarasan. Connor Jameson Stack. Adam Patrick Steves. Trig Strand. Anna Lindsay Stubbings. Megan Olivia Stultz with distinction. James Dawson Swain. Seth Swenson. Carson William Taylor with distinction. Christina Angelica Tobar. Daniela Jacqueline Tonelli. Nicole Gabrielle Terlucas. Tasha Lynn Trudell. Temitope Tundabayaz. Evan Alexander Yuba with distinction. Joel Van Offwagen with distinction. Allison Marie Vanos with distinction. Gabriela Vieira Troke. Noah Mati Villanin. Johan Wan. Zi Mo Wang. Claire Holly Lynn Waters. Brandon William Webb. Samantha Julia Lee Wyman. Megan Victoria Wells. Grayson Francis Gary Wesley. Robert Joseph Wolfer. Rachel Marie Wood. Rachel Nicole Zegas. Lydia Elizabeth Ann Zare with distinction. Jackie Wu Zhan. Sierra Lynn Zernick. Graduating from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics with the degree of Bachelor of Commerce in Hospitality, Food and Tourism Management Honors Program. Rebecca Lynn Beeman. Jessica Marie Brookshaw. Connor Andrew Brook. Jessica Carmichael. Feng Chan. Jiahao Chen. Trin Emma Crocker Suley. Jonathan Darbyson. Anmol Annie Duji. Uprit Singh Danoa with distinction. Ashley Drost with distinction. Paul Fidoso. Shuo Gao. Brian Siu Ki Hao. Michelle Huang. Bernice Ip with distinction. Colin James Jackson. Sho Jean. Sahad Kassam with distinction. Andy Jacqueline Laquedos. Yuan Wing Lau. Lokman Lung. Anissa Hoi Ki Lu. James Stewart Mills. Matthew Moradian. Rebecca Marie Morris. Ida Gail Ramos Ordas. Alexander Daniel Owens. Jasmine Yu Shi with distinction. Jacqueline Rochelle Simard with distinction. Victoria Singleton. Kexin Tian with distinction. Daniel Tsai. Samuel David Tucker Yates. Sarah Elizabeth Walzak. Bridget Lee Walton. Junyi Wong with distinction. Yutong Wong. Zhengzi Ziang. Shushan Zhu. Yu Men Yang with distinction. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating all of our baccalaureate graduates from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business. I promised you there would be a moment for truly thunderous applause. This is that moment.
Wonderful enthusiasm. Madam Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
Well, graduates, you did it. Congratulations. Well done. So let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you now to the Griffin alumni family. And as you can imagine, this is a growing family, joined today by some 3,000 new graduates this week. University of Guelph alumni now number more than 170,000 grads around the world. And as you can imagine, we are all extremely proud of your accomplishments here at the University of Guelph and really do look forward to seeing how the foundations that you've developed here at the university will continue to support you in the months and the years ahead. Now, following the ceremony, the college deans will host a reception for all the graduates and their guests in the field house right next door. And that reception really is a way to cap the ceremony. So in one way, it's an ending. But in another, of course, and perhaps more important way, it's also a beginning. Because it's the first ever alumni reception for you as new graduates. So even as one journey ends for you here today, another begins. Or as Kawhi Leonard might say, we're not done yet. Right. Two more games left. One more game left. The University of Guelph is the place where you took important and foundational steps towards your lifelong journey. A place where those steps perhaps got you thinking about how you are going to make a difference, how you will make a difference, how you will improve life for yourselves and also for others. The university has helped to prepare and to fashion you for life, and in many ways it's also shaped your identity. You are at an important and meaningful juncture at this very point, and I would encourage you to actually slow down just for a moment right now and savor what it feels like to be at this particular juncture, at this particular transition. Your journey will take you down many roads, and of course those roads are not linear, and not only are they not linear, they're not unidirectional. You leave here today, but part of you remains here. You'll find yourselves back on campus from time to time, perhaps for a reunion or other gathering. And each time you return will be an opportunity to recalibrate. It'll be an opportunity to check in with your classmates, your friends, to share your life stories as your own stories unfold, and remember what this turning point actually felt like. It'll be an opportunity to reconnect, to reflect, to recharge, to reharness some of the enthusiasm and anticipation and eagerness, and even, I would suggest, some of that nervous energy which I suspect you're feeling right now. Reunions are a great opportunity to maintain that sense of connectivity, that sense of connectiveness with your academic and with your social roots here at the University of Guelph, and also remind you of this very important juncture as your own stories unfold. So remember to come back, or at least to keep in touch, even if it's only to check in on that part of yourself that will always remain here. The moments you experience here will always be a part of you.
Your university experience is made up of moments. From the moment you opened your acceptance letter, survived online enrollment, and packed the moving van, your adventure began. From the nerves of being a first-year student who chose to make Guelph their home, you became part of a community. From the days you met your first roommates, made your first university friends, and moved into your first apartment, your social circle grew. From the times you missed your family, weren't sure if university was for you, then bravely decided that it was, you gained courage. From the late-night study sessions, to the early morning exams, and finishing your projects at the very last minute, you proved to yourself that you could do it. From the summer jobs, the co-op terms, and the contacts you made in your field of study, you turned your classroom learning into practical experience. From the football games, the campus clubs, and the groups you were the beating heart of, you showed that nothing is stronger than a Guelph connection. From the moment you donned your gown, crossed the stage, and got the degree you worked so hard to earn, you have been part of something special. From the University of Guelph, we say thank you. Thank you for contributing to a culture and reputation that's unlike any university in Canada. Thank you for innovating, striving for excellence, and helping us to improve life. Thank you for continuing your relationship with the university as mentors, advocates, and proud alumni. Thank you for sharing some of your most important moments with us. Congratulations, and thank you for forever being a Griffin. Welcome to the alumni family.
Again, yes. Again, my congratulations and very, very best heartfelt wishes to all of you. And once again, Stu, a heartfelt thanks to you and to Kim. From all of us here, you've left a tremendous impact on this institution in so many ways, and you've allowed us to soar truly to new heights and continue to lift us up. So thank you for that. And now the final word comes from our Chancellor, Chancellor Billis.
Convocation is dismissed.